Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I am coming back at you with another Wargaming and miniature video. In this video, we are going to go ahead and continue on with my epic Waterloo project updates. All right, as I told you, I was getting in a new shipment in from Hobby Link. I've received it. It's mostly along here, and I basically just want to show you what I got and some mistakes I made when ordering these. Okay, the first thing I want to say is I ordered some apple trees. I ordered these apple trees for La Saint. I was going to put them out in the orchard, but you can see that these are way too big, right? When I ordered them, I thought I was ordering N scale, but in fact, these will work for HO and O scale. So, yeah, an N scale person is about this tall, and that would be great if that tree was ginormous. Like a 28 millimeter model is only about this big, and this would be perfect for 28s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to these and not use them in my epic Waterloo. I'll use them in one of my other 28 millimeter projects. All right, so get that out of the way. That's going to be shelved for a while. Okay, but luckily I ordered these as well, and I'm just in the bag, just looking at them in the bag. I'm very happy with what I see here. This company right here, Knock, has been doing me very well. It's a model railroading, terrain building, diorama, landscaping company, and I really like their static grass, and now I'm looking at these trees, and I really like these trees. Okay, you get 25 trees. There's this row here are some smaller trees, you know, like these. And then these rows here are the bigger trees. So you get a mixture of trees in here. It says 1.4 to 2 inches. But that's a reasonably sized tree. If my that's a good size. That's a very large tree. Be good in a forest, right? These might be good in an orchard. These trees, as opposed to the ones I did previously, if you watched my flock test, I used some other trees that I picked up on Amazon that did not have bases. They just had trunks, right? And so I had to stick the trunk down into my terrain. This actually has a little base that I'm going to be able to glue onto my metal washer without having to put putty and stuff like that on there. So that's one reason why I'm really excited about these trees. But what I will do, okay, for $30, you get 25 trees. I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was a good deal. I'll have to open them up and actually take a look at them to see what the hell. Let's do that right now. Let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at some quality of these trees. Bang, tearing things apart. Now I could do like not a tutorial, but like an unboxing review of these trees. Oh, okay. Pretty nice. I like it. Nice and thick, and it's lush. Yeah, I dig it. Okay, let's see if I can pull this base off. Nope, that base doesn't want to come off. Okay, because I was thinking if this plastic came off of the metal stem that's sticking down, I could glue that down onto my washer and then paint it and then stick the tree into it. But it looks like I'm going to have to paint the washer, glue this down, and then touch up. That's what it looks like. But okay, so these, oh, that's awesome. This would even work for 6mm, 10mm, or N scale. In the packaging, it said N or Z scale. Z scale is pretty cool too. Okay. Oh, P.S. I am going to be doing another video using these trees. I'm going to assemble these trees on some washers, paint the washers, etc. And then we're going to use some of this new flock that I got on these trees to see how they compare. And then I'm going to compare them with the ones I've already done. So it's basically going to be a flock part 2. Okay, so I got some boards out here for my city sectors, and I'll explain those here in just a second after I talk about the things that we just got in. Okay, we'll get back to this. I just want to touch up on this real quick. Now, I order through HobbyLink, and HobbyLink also offers Vallejo paint, so you can get Vallejo through HobbyLink. And I saw that they had this bottle here. This is very similar to my folk art bottles and stuff like that, except it was Vallejo. It is also an airbrush color, but that's okay. I brush on the air colors. They tend to be really thinner, which is the way I prefer to paint with anyway, so I don't have to add a whole lot of water to thin them down or whatever. And this is a premium airbrush. It is a bright red. Now I've got both of these specifically for collars and cuffs and red coats, right? And maybe some Polish or some Brunswick or not Brunswick, Dutch Belgian cavalry or whatever, right? Hussars. But all the reds that I had, and you might be able to see them over here, these are all dark red. When I paint them onto a model, they tend to be very dark, like that. And this is called bright red. It looks kind of like that flat red, but we'll have to test it to see if it dries bright. I'm excited about that. Because I like my miniatures to pop, so I wanted it to be bright, a lot like that. And then this is called blood red, which seems to be a little closer to what I would call a crimson. And this would be great for highlighting, because like if that was the bright red uniform, I could use that to highlight. Can you see the shade is a lot lighter? It's great. Okay, so that's my idea. Main red, because I'm going to have a lot of red coats to do with this epic project. That's why I got this. And then this is going to be the highlighting. Okay. Okay, now here are some mistakes that I made. Before I do that, let's talk about this. I got this brush in, looks like it's a Tamiya brush, doesn't it? I think that's Tamiya logo. And what do you call it? The font and everything looks like it's a Tamiya font. Let me see if this is, yep, Tamiya Incorporated. Okay, perfect. I didn't even realize when I ordered it. I just saw that they offered a fine tip dry brush. They call it a weathering sponge brush. Package up just a little bit. There we go. Okay, I was kind of like super happy to get that really thick, big, thick handle. Weathering sponge brush. Yep, that's a sponge. I thought I was going to be doing dry brushing with that. They say it is a weathering sponge brush. Okay, well, I'm planning on doing some dry brushing with it we'll see exactly how that works when I get around to doing that. Otherwise, I might have to order some of these Army Painter professional, what do they call it? Pro Painter. Okay, how do I get into this package? Yeah, it'll be called Pro Painter dry brushes or something. Okay, so I got it back in the package. That took forever. Got it in there. Let's put that up to the side. Not that interested. Okay, before we get into that, let's talk about these tufts. Okay, so AK sells tufts, as we already know. This is the 2mm tufts. I thought, I don't know why, but I thought they would be bigger than this. And it's kind of hard to see how many you get. I'm going to try to get the light to shine on it properly so you can see it's kind of a random assortment of tufts in there. And this is their summer green. Okay. And of course I'll be using my tweezers to be pulling these tufts off. But my understanding is it's just like all the other Army Painter tufts. These are just super small. And I'll have to be using those on some of my epic models. We'll see how that turns out. I'm not going to use them right now because I don't have any epic models to try them out on. Okay, well this is just an additional package of the 1.5mm meadow grass that I already have, that I already love. So I went ahead and ordered a second package of that just to get me more, because I think I'm going to be using a lot of this. So this is really just already been looked at. Woodland Scenics, I had done a 2mm static grass already, which I really liked, except it was light green, and this is their medium green. This is more like their blended turf color. So I have a feeling that I'm really going to like this. So we're going to have to test that out as part of the next video. Now this is a knock, and they call this Spring Meadow, right? So that, and look how big it is. It's 100 grams. I was thinking that, see, this is 70 grams, and that's 20 grams, and this is 100 grams. And I said to myself, oh, Spring Meadow, well, that's a no-brainer. But when I got it in, I see that it is 2.5mm, right? 2.5mm, which might be too big for 10mm models. But we're going to test it out because there can't be that much of a difference between 2 and 2.5. That's what I'm thinking. And plus, I kind of like the color of that, how it's got the yellows and I guess the yellow and the green mixed in, and it's kind of light, and I like the Spring Meadow. The Meadow I felt was just a little too dark, right? The Spring Meadow is the one I really like, that I have, that's 1.5. This is 2.5. Maybe it'll be okay. I don't know. We're going to test it out. Like I said, we're going to test that one out. Now here comes the mistake. I knew that Nock was getting away from the Ziploc bags and they were going to the tubs, right? And I said, oh, a tub, right? And this tub comes with, made in Germany, is 80 grams. 180. I figured that this, plus it's going to be a lot easier to manage and control, and I can use the tub itself for forever. So it's more than this bag, which is kind of a big bag of static grass, and it's less than this bag, which I thought was kind of weird that this giant tub would be less than this. But when I got it in, I see that it says wild grass, which that's fine because look at the color. I think the color is okay. It's just extra large wild grass. Can you see in the camera how big those strands are? You can, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but look at the strands on that static grass. That static grass is going to be way too big. Way for the epic, that is. For my 28s, I don't think I'm going to have a problem. I think this will be just fine. But I'm trying to find the English. Okay, here's English. It doesn't say exactly how long the strands are, but I know that Nock makes strands up to like 12 millimeter, and so I have a feeling that these strands, yeah, they're like 12 millimeters long. There's no way I can use this. I can't use this. And that, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I might put it in like wooded areas, or I might wait to do 28 millimeter projects with this along with those apple trees. So I feel like this was a mistake as well. I didn't realize it was extra large. The extra large, maybe I was thinking it's an extra large tub. Okay, and finally, as you know, I've been working on my map scale and how big an area that each of the town sectors should be, and how much they like what size of the buildings that I want to use and things like that. Well, I have some micro armor buildings, some 6 millimeter buildings mounted on some 3-inch squares for town sectors for other games like Spearhead or Battlefront. So I have some buildings like with grass, and then I would take the building and it would be in the corner, like imagine this being the building, the area that it occupies on the base, and I would put it in a corner like that, and then I would be able to put my infantry around the outside edge of that building. But that's in, and the buildings are actually smaller than this because they are micro armor size. So I went to a place called Battlescape. They sell 10 millimeter buildings for a pretty good, reasonable rate, unpainted. So when I get them in, I'm gonna have to paint them, which I prefer doing anyway. And I ordered some bridges and some buildings. I just looked at some of their buildings, and some of their buildings are about this size. This is a 40 by 50. Right, and one of the buildings I was looking at was like a 37 by 55 or something like that. So they're pretty much got a floor about this size. So I tried that, and I'm giving the building a little bit of wiggle room by not putting it directly to the edge of the base. Plus, I'm going to use a lot thinner bases. These are 3-inch bases. These are movement stands for figures. But for my cities, I'm going to make them a lot thinner. I don't know, this building, remember, it's supposed to be 55 and not 50, so I would need to put it in about 50, and there are a few of them that are like 47 or something like that. So, but I'm just gonna say the building would take up about that much space on a 3-inch square town sector. And then these are my infantry stands, which are 20 by 30s, right? And a 20 by 30 will fit on there, but I can't get 4 of them. I could put one maybe over there, but it's overlapping, right? And then, or if I don't want to put them in like that, I want to put them in like that so that they're facing outwards. So I decided, and this is a decision I think I've already made. I haven't gotten the buildings in yet to test this, but you know, they tell you exactly how big the building is. I'm not going to be able to do 3-inch squares. I was thinking I was going to do a 4-inch square, and I was thinking about doing that for the Huguenot, doing like 3 or 4 sectors, maybe even a 6-inch, maybe like a 3x6. That's also a possibility. But I had made some of my own 3x4s, right? And so because these individual bases were 2x3s, right? And I had glued them together basically and attached a magnet on the back for other reasons for my Macedonians. But since I had this available, I'm going to use it as a test, basically. And then if I had this building, I could easily put this building, and I'm going to put it in a little bit to represent some outer either imperfections or the fact that it is a 55 millimeter and not a 50 millimeter base building. And so if the building was there, I could, and this is what I was thinking, I could even put like a fence or a wall, or I could put like a tree in there or something to make this stand look a little bit more like a diorama. And then I would be able to put an infantry guy facing out that way, an infantry guy facing out this way, and then like 2 guys facing out that way. I wouldn't be able to get one facing in every direction, not unless I tweaked it or something, but at least I could get 4 infantry bases in there with no problem. And if I had a large unit which had like 6 bases, well, obviously it wouldn't fit anyway, so I'd have to figure out some other way to deploy them, you know, like that's 5 bases. But at least the 3x4 looks like a much more manageable town sector. I ordered like 5 buildings from this company with some bridges, and when I get them in, I'll let you know how they look. I'll probably have to get some different bases for my town sectors. I don't think, I mean, I could probably do a 5x5, but I don't want to do that. I think the rectangle is actually a much better looking town sector, because like La Haye Saint should be a long town sector. Huguemont should be a long town sector with maybe a town sector outside. If I did Huguemont, I could probably do, I was thinking I would do something like 2 town sectors side by side like this, with the front part and the back part, and then maybe doing something like this for the garden. So I would have like a front and back of Huguemont with the garden outside. And so at least I could get 3 town sectors out of Huguemont. I could probably get La Haye Saint would be 1 town sector, and then in front, of course, would be like an orchard. But I could add a second if I felt like it deserved a town sector. I could do a town sector in back that represented the walled garden of La Haye Saint. I don't think I will need to do that because that just, I probably will just put walls out there. But I might do a walled garden. I don't know. But if I do a second, now, if I did a walled garden town sector or just a non-building town sector, one with just walls, you don't have to put a building on it. I think a 3-inch town sector would be good. And in that case, I could do, like I said, I could do a Huguemont, right, on a 2x, like a 3x4, and then a backside of Huguemont on another 3x4, and then I could put 2 3x3 just open fields, like grass fields that are enclosed by walls, and make that the garden area. And then I would be able to have 4 town sectors, because if I had a town sector with no buildings in it, and the only reason why it's even considered a town sector or a fortification would be because it has a high wall around it, in that case I would be able to put a battalion in there with no trouble at all, because there'd be no building to block the way. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have some walled fortification areas that are going to be 3x3s, and then I think I'm going to have some town sectors that are going to be 3x4. Okay, I hope that explained all of that. Okay, so that's the end of the update for tonight, but I'm going to be working on doing another product review of these 2 flocks. I've got the medium green and I've got the 2.5 spring meadow, and they're going to be going on these knock trees, and I'll be doing that later tonight, recording it. So that video might be coming up soon as well. So thanks for coming out and checking out this Waterloo update, and I will catch you in the next one.